Hello. We're doing it. So, before this 2024 happens, I'm not wasting, and this is final. There is no reason that we are all overthinking and anxietyful, like over things that shouldn't be stressful. And we are all such creative creatures on this planet, supposed to be doing what we're doing. And when you mess with not doing passion and love into everything that you do, you're taking energy from the wrong place. It's just detrimental to yourself with the capital S. That's all it is. So I'm just doing this on my phone because you
are here and I am here, and I have something to say, and maybe you want to listen, you know? And that's just all this is. And it's not that deep. And I am better on my feet than I am in planning with my words. Like freestyling, you know? I mean, right now that's not, but...
I have been not true to myself. I've definitely have been on this road towards just being like a free spirit for so long, and it all started when I had heart failure in 2021. Up until that point, kind of went just up in the air. When I was really, really tiny, it was beautiful, very much Disney and like pancakes and church on Sundays. I had so much anxiety growing up. Like I had panic attacks. My head was never really there for school. I tried my hardest, like I did, but like I didn't know how to teach myself how to learn. I needed to figure out my study habits. Like I didn't know what that was for me, and I would rewrite the whole book trying to like engrave it in my brain and index cards and all these things, but I just didn't master like what my habits were and like how I can learn and react well and not be frustrated. And when I was like around 8 years old, when my brother got sick, I would be watching him and visiting him in the hospital. That was really, really scary, and that just had me really hate time. And I would pray every night for him and my family. Just praying every night, it felt like such a release. I remember I'd be like, in the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. God, I don't mean to be nagging on you. I know there's some things that I have on my mind that are unquestioned, but I do just want to say how thankful I am for my family and for my life. I am so happy to be the daughter I am, and I would go on to say every cousin and aunt and my parents and my dog and people on the street, people I saw. Like I was a little girl, always an old soul though, like, but this was like my little girl words. Like, please, my brother is the strongest, most loving, most hilarious, most smart. He has the greatest heart. He's gonna do so great for this world, and I would just want him to be out of the hospital and out of pain. And that really saved me. And that's what led me actually into songwriting. This is just like intuitively, because I was so young. Being able to express my words into paper is one of the hardest challenges. You come up to hear your voice and you invite silence and like go a little crazy for a bit. But then you're like, oh hi, like in your head. Finally. I've been here the whole time. What are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, that's at least my voice in my head. I'm like...
There's like a whole... Sometimes there's a court. Sometimes there's me. Sometimes there's silly me. Sometimes there's like my mom, my dad protecting me.
Fast forward. Heart failure. That's when I started reading. Like, isn't that weird that like I said I had heart failure and I started reading? What? I had just like always just like a really bad auditory processing delay. You would talk to me and I'd be like, what? But also like reading was really like my worst strong suit. Like wordy math problems was like, no. It wasn't until like high school when my teacher, she was amazing. She just like knew all these different colorful and beautiful ways on learning math. Those programs helped me so much, but it didn't really like get me to like become a reader. And I've always kind of had that in me where I'm like, I'm just like not a reader. I didn't even think about like the power of like what books were. We get to literally go into our imagination, a world that we only get to see from our perspective. So when I got into college and like my junior year when the heart failure happened, I remember leaving that situation, I had no anxiety. You are a little bit manic when you come out of like an NDE. I just felt Like I've touched peace and like let go. But when I went first into the ICU, it was during COVID and my parents couldn't come in, so I'm like, do what you gotta do, you know? I'm not afraid of hospitals. I've like lived in them with my brother, and like seeing him go through everything he's been through, oh my god, do what you can to me, I'll be here, what do you want me to do, you know? My heart was at 30%, I had pneumonia, I had really, really low blood pressure. Disattached. I remember closing my eyes and like being put on oxygen. They're doing the things they say. Your heart and your lungs aren't doing so well. Something. And I kind of just like remember just closing my eyes and like, despite what they're saying, Priscilla, because I know you can't really concentrate on them right now. It's okay. I felt so angry at myself for praying in that moment because I felt like I haven't prayed in so long since before that I was just like praying because I needed him, and I hate praying when I need to pray, you know what I mean? Because it's not coming from the right place. And when I was in that situation on the table, I thought about that, but then right after I thought that, it went black and then white, really bright, and I don't even remember like very much after that, except for like just kind of like being awake. Now my heart is at 66%. I just got my heart scan the other day, and that's above average. So just so you know, whatever happens to you too happens, but what happens on the other side is where it goes snap. In the Deepak Chopra book called Reinventing Your Mind, Resurrecting the Soul, remember he said this thing called tuning in and out. He says to tune into yourself, you have to tune out. I remember reading this for the first time, I cried because he talks about how that's why people go through like near-death experiences and stuff, really just feel like a state of being and peace. Because when I was on that bed and it went black and white and I saw those colors and I was in that place, I felt so disattached from my body because I couldn't do anything about anything anymore. I had no idea what was gonna happen in the next 10 minutes. I wasn't scared. I was at peace. I completely let go right before I stomped out. My biggest fear before that was death, because I didn't want my brother to die, didn't want my parents to die, didn't want my other brother to die. I didn't want no one died, please. I slept with my parents for way too long because I always thought about like not being able to do that. Just being so gracious for every single moment is exactly how I felt right after I came out of that moment. My body was going through it, and then also like I was in the hospital room the whole time. I would be connected to this thing. I remember one time I couldn't get out of bed and the nurse wasn't coming, and it actually peed the floor. Or I don't know what I did. It was a really scary night. I cried so much. It was like, oh my god, it's like a mixture of funny and just really sad. But like there was this big window and like I guess like seats in front of it, and there's like a ledge right before the window, kind of like this soap. To get onto this ledge was like a couch that came out here. So when you step up, I could not believe like how bad like the functioning of like my heart and lungs, like everything was at this point. Like I couldn't step up. I would have fallen and like broke my hip. I remember stepping up a curb, like catching my breath. I remember talking and then losing my breath. I'm a singer. I have to like relearn how to sing now. Like I was singing for the nurses, and if I show you those videos, I know it sounded not very good. My vocal coach was like, Priscilla, you better stop. It's bad for your heart. And I'm like, Thing is, I really want to get into this, that you're not dying until you're dead. So embrace everything outside of it. That's why I have so much solitude, like so much peace, so much surrender. But then when I noticed I'm still self-conscious, that just made me like want to bite the bullet so much more and really just like get a hold of myself, and do this video right now and like do things like this all the time because, and I love sharing things, but I'm just like what's holding me back? It's just overthinking. Like, just do it. Knowing where you are on this timeline of life and knowing what you bring to the table, to the society, what you have learned growing up the way you did, inspired by the people that you were inspired by. I know this video is absurdly long and it was kind of confusing to follow, and I'm a little bit weird, and I also sometimes go on lots and lots of, I start here but I'll end up very unknown. Getting sidetracked, I get sidetracked a lot. But I think sidetracked is also just like being intuitive, in touch, able to feel things that hit your spirit and know that they're important, so probably to mention them. So that's just the way I think and the way I... So, if you would like to be on the journey with me and hear more about my story as the person I am in this very moment, every breath is different, every thought is different. I just can't wait to continue this, because this is the most creative video ever, and I'm sitting in a bathtub with my phone and a tripod, because I am within my source energy right here. I did it because I just wanted to. I didn't force. This wasn't forced. This was ignited. This was a go on, keep going, live to inspire. Be your own best friend. Take yourself on dates. Drink some water. Read, write, run, and like have a planner. I recommend Anecdote, and if you want to use a code, Anecdote X Priscilla. I promise if you write down in your planner every night and you wake up visualizing what you're going to be already doing instead of visualizing all morning about what you're going to be doing, you're going to get so much done. I love you so much. Thank you so much for your patience and being on this journey with me. My name is Priscilla Ariana, and I am just so grateful for this feeling and to feel so connected to you right now. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for clicking. Bye.